In today's video, you'll learn how to keep compost worms alive. Compost worms, such as the common red wiggler worm, are an important part of any garden's nutrient cycle. They aid in the breakdown of organic material and the release of plant-available nutrients, making them an important addition to any compost pile. However, they, like all living things, require proper care in order to thrive. The first item when caring for your compost worms is temperature. Temperatures between 55 and 77 degrees Fahrenheit are ideal for these worms. This may not be an issue in the summer, but as the weather cools, it's very important to make sure that your compost pile or bin doesn't become too cold. A couple things you can do to keep your compost pile or bin warm is add more food and bedding so it heats up a little, or wrap or cover it with plastic or mulch. Moisture is another important aspect of worm care. To survive, compost worms require a damp but not wet environment. Because compost worms breathe through their skin, in a dry environment they'll become dried out, and in a wet one they'll drown. A good rule of thumb is to keep the moisture content between 60 and 70%. To test this, use a moisture meter or simply squeeze a handful of compost material. It should feel damp and not muddy or watery. Feeding is a third aspect of worm care. The worms require a consistent supply of organic material to eat. Food scraps, leaves, and other brown materials are examples of this. However, be careful what you feed them because certain foods like meat, dairy, or oils can cause odors or attract pests. For best results, stick to a balanced diet of both green and brown materials. Green materials are nitrogen-based, like food scraps, spent coffee grounds, manure, and fresh plant materials. Brown materials are carbon-based, like cardboard, newspaper, office paper, and dried plant materials. Your compost worms will thrive all year if you provide them with the proper temperature, moisture, and food. By keeping these things in mind, you'll be able to create a wonderful home for your compost worms. Remember that compost worms are the engine that drives the nutrient cycle in any garden, so take care of them and they'll take care of your garden. This is Karen of The Kind Garden Stuff. Thank you for coming on this journey with me, and we'll see you in the next video.